Hello everyone. Hello, good evening to everybody. Let's wait a few more moments. Welcome to this live on Bridges of Light International. We are going to be together 1 hour. And in case you may be wondering, what time is it? It's adventure time. I thought, since it's so hot, that I would be wearing a t-shirt. Hey, hello Chiara. Welcome, it's great seeing you here. Thank you for being here. And tonight, hello Helga. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Helga. Oh, let me put this first, otherwise you can't hear me. This afternoon, evening, we're going to be talking about the game of life. And in fact, we are going to do a little game. Well, more than a game, it's like a quiz I'm going to offer you. So, anyway, as always, thank you very much, that you are here with me, with us, live, to share, to inquire, to discuss about life. Today, actually, we'll be talking about life. And thank you that you're watching this later on. And thank you, Bridges of Light, for giving us all the opportunity to be here and to share life. Yeah, we'll talk about life. Right. Should we wait a little bit longer? Or should I ask you already what I want to ask you? Why not? Let's go. This is it. This is the game. You have to choose which game you would like to play. Knowing I'm going to tell you not so much about the game. I will tell you more or less the general rules of these two games. So I will be telling you the rules of game number 1 and the rules of game number 2. And then I want you to tell me, so I want you to write in the comment box. Thank you, Helga, I like it too. I want you to write in the comment box which game you would prefer to play. Right. These are the rules of game number 1. You can play only once. It is a collective game, meaning you're going to be playing this game with other players. It is a competitive game. So, because of this, you may be winning, but you may be also losing. And even when people may look like they are your friends, you better be careful, because if you befriend them too much, they may win and you may lose. At the end of the game, an outside entity will be judging how you have been playing. And according to the fact that you may be winning or losing, you will be either rewarded or punished. These are the rules of game number 1. Hello, Sylvia. Hope there's no storm. No, it's very sunny here. There's not going to be a storm. Where I am, anyway. Now, these are the rules of game number 2. You can play an infinite amount of times. This is also a collective game, but this time it is not a competitive game. There's no winners and there's no losers. Even when it may look like people are actually in competition with you, and they may look like they are your enemies, in reality, deep down, they're not. Okay? They are your friends. At the end of this game, nobody, and I repeat, nobody will be judging the way you played. Although you will be given the opportunity to watch, to see the way you've been playing and the way you performed during the game. And if you want, you can also see the consequences of the way you have been playing that had on other people. Hello, Evelyn. I'll let you on. I finished talking about this, and then I'll bring you on if you want to. Thank you. I'll see you soon. So, at the end of the game, you will be given the opportunity to review the way you've been playing, so that you gain awareness of your game, of your performance. And this is because in game number 2, as I said, you can play an infinite amount of time. So, but this is another rule. Whenever you play a new game, although you don't remember that you have been playing before, you have no memory, no recollection of it, of the previous games, but you retain and you have with you, hello Mariella, welcome, you have with you all the awareness that you have gained from your past games. This is the question, the first question. I'm going to ask you 2 questions, but this is the first question. Which one of these 2 games would you prefer playing? Would you prefer playing game number 1 or game number 2? Hello, Mel. Hello, Mattia. Welcome. Please write down. Do you prefer to play game number 1 or game number 2? Hello, Cinzia. I repeat very quickly, summarize. The rules of game number 1 are as follows. You play only once. It's a competitive game, so you may win, but you may lose. At the end of the game, hello, Danielina, an outside entity will be judging the way you've been playing, and according to how you've been playing, you will either be rewarded or punished. Game number 1. Rules of game number 2. You can play an infinite amount of times. It's a collective game, but it's not a competitive game. It may look like other people are either your enemies or are in competition with you, although it's a superficial perception. Deep down, they are your friends. At the end of the game, you are the one that is given the opportunity to review the way you've been playing so that you know how you performed, and the next time that you play, which you won't remember you played before, but you will gain the experience, you will retain the experience you had from previous game. So, which game would you prefer to play? Game number 1 or game number 2? And here we have some answer. Hello, Lorenza. Ciao, welcome. Ciao, Danielina. Yes, watch it tomorrow. Enjoy it when you watch it. Mariella says game number 2. Marie would prefer to play game number 2. Sylvia, number 2, no doubt. Okay, I get the gesture. Number 2 for Chiara as well. Yes. Mel, definitely number 2. Yes. Okay, great. You would prefer to play game number 2. This is the second and the supreme question for you. Evelyn as well, game number 2. Then Evelyn, after this, if you wish, let me know and I'll bring you on. So Mariella says, I want to play infinite times together with others without competition. Fantastic. So yes, game number 2. Which one do you think are the rules of the game of life? But I mean the existential game of life, the one we are living, let's say. Let's call it a game for today. That's why I wore this shirt. What time is it? Adventure time, right? So, for the sake of fun, do you think that the rules of the game of life, the existential game, are more similar to game number 1 or to game number 2? Please write down what you think. The rules of the existential game, the game of life, the one we are living, are they like or more similar to game number 1 or to game number 2? And while you wait, I'm just going to tell you that at the end of this live, I will be leaving the link of a video that I actually recorded. It's about a year ago now. I just watched it again today. I thought, I'm going to share it, which is actually called The Game of Life. So I invite you to watch it. Tomorrow, same t-shirt. Yeah, I might actually. Game number 2, Maria says. Mariella says, it's similar to number 1. Great. This is what I like. This is getting interesting. Maria thinks that the game of the existential game, the game of life, the one we are living, are more similar to game number 2. Mariella says the rules of this game, they're more similar to number 1. This is not right or wrong, by the way. So everybody, please fire on. Evelyn says can be either depending on the individual chooses, what the individual chooses. Sylvia says I would say 1. Mel, if you're on, I'm looking forward to see what you think. I love the way Mel thinks. We are very much alike, 2 rebels. We live like number 1, yet we wish for number 2. Ah, great answer. Great one. Great one. Any more takers? So let me summarize this. Marie says the rules of the existential game, they are like number 2. Mariella says similar to number 1. Evelyn says can be either, depending what the individual chooses. Sylvia says I would say number 1. Mel says we live like number 1, yet we wish for number 2. Okay, because I don't like to keep people waiting too long. And people, they don't want to write, they don't have to write. And mind you, there might not be here enough people to actually write now, answer now. So, if you believe that the rules of the existential game, the game of life, are similar to game number 1, yes, you're right. That will be your experience. If you believe that the rules of the existential game, the game of life, they're similar to game number 2, you're also right. Yes, that would be your experience. And yes, they could be like number 1, they could be like number 2. I tell you my personal opinion. Yes, like it very much depends on what we believe. If some people believe that life is a competitive experience, that will be their experience. Life would be very competitive. Like Mel says, we could believe, but the thing is that many of us have got different beliefs. I would like to believe that the absolute reality, in the realm of the absolute, which means in the metaphysical realm, at the energetic, purely spiritual realm, we are all one. So yes, there's no competitiveness, there's no division. Although we are so powerful and our free will is so strong that we can have the experience we wish to have. So if we believe that it's survival of the fittest and it's one, each and every one for itself or herself, That would be our experience. And if we believe that we live only once and we have to strive and do whatever because this is it, that would be our experience. But we can choose to believe that life is eternal, meaning that we don't die. This is just a dot in infinity, and we come back and try again and again and again. And then would bring on a certain level of peacefulness, I guess. Is some level of competition not a good thing? Mel says, yes, very good question. Yes, I think it is actually. If it's healthy competition, which is the competition that springs from the kind of healthy envy, which is the envy that a little child feels when she or he sees somebody reaching for the door handle and he or she has never done it. So he thinks, oh, that's a good jealousy. I want to do that again. Okay. And then maybe they play together to see they stimulate each other. So that in that respect, yes. When we are attached to our result, to the winning, and if we beat ourselves up when we lose, then it could become unhealthy. But yes, a healthy dose of competition, why not? I would say the competition within ourselves is definitely the healthiest, meaning I would always try to be the better version of who I can be in any situation. Yes, Silvia, natural strive for collaboration, yes. But since I see Evelyn here and we made a pact, since I very much fucked up the very first time I did, the second or third English live, I did it the same time that Evelyn was on. So that's how we met each other. And so I contacted Evelyn and then we became friends. And so every time I see her, I say, if you're here, Evelyn, would you like to pop on and get on the conversation as well? So we spice it up even more. Mariella says, number one, the rules of a game of life, that one, like number one, because the actual society is absolutely, let me bring you on 1 second. Yes, it is absolutely egoistic, not involved to realize the same results altogether, helping each other. Yes, you're right. Society, hello, Evelyn, welcome. Hello. Did we get you out of bed?
No, do you know what? Look, this is date night, so I washed my hair for you.
Oh, thank you.
And I say, I'm above you again.
Oh, sugar. Well,
I'm going to have to lie down in this seat.
Wait, look. I just moved the phone, so I'll be higher than.
So we were nice colours, matching colours there.
Yeah, did you know? Yeah. I set up today, so, but Mariella, she's writing. Mariella,
I seen yours, yeah.
Mariella, you are absolutely correct in that. Human consciousness, race consciousness, still today, at this day and time, is very much based on egoistic and egotistic values. And what would Evelyn say about all this? What would you say?
Well, actually, that was one of the parts that I wrote in the first book, A Life You Want, about competition. That it is good to feel that if you're doing something similar work-wise, because you have so much gratitude to give. You know, you say, thank you for being there, because now I can be the better for me today, that I will improve my customer service for me today, yes. That I improve, because we get quite complacent.
Yes.
And take things for granted. So it's nice to have something similar. But then there's the other side of the egotistical side, the place of lack, that there's not enough when we believe in competition that way. So we're coming from lack. So you won't get, you know, what it is that you're wishing for. You can come from either place, depends on you. That it's either there's not enough to go around, or that it's gratitude for having that.
Yes. But yeah, competition, the thing is that it is here, it is present, and like everything, and also ego. We many times we crucify, we condemn, and we do judge negatively the ego, but we've got it. I mean, it's our little view. I regard it as being, it's our window over life. It's like my viewpoint, my little, I know it's limited, but it's Luca opinion, viewpoint. Like Evelyn has got yours, Mel has got hers, Mariella has got hers. And in a way, yes, healthy competition, if we didn't have a little bit of competition in place, I don't know you guys, but like Evelyn, you were saying, sometimes you could get so complacent, you could just be thinking, do you know what? I won't make an extra effort. But then I see Evelyn maybe doing a post or something inspiring, or Mel. I mean, Mel, I've seen one of your posts and you create some of your cards and are just, wow, you think that's great. And that's, you know, it doesn't mean that I'm going to do the same, but I'm definitely going to think, wow, how could I better myself? What could I get from what I have seen? And make it mine, give it a flavor of mine, and like that, I think we all stimulate each other.
Yeah,
So
it kind of gives you permission, some to go ahead, because this could be seen as, we could be competition if we chose to be,
yes,
rather than then seeing the overall picture that it's all one, and it's the one voice just coming from different bodies.
yes, absolutely, yes. But it also I think everything gets in place, and you can contextualize and living it in a healthy way. When you have a degree of inner awareness, which, having said that, it fluctuates. I mean, the stages of consciousness, they're different, and it's same. It's at times we could be very, very aware, very present, very unconditionally loving. We are at one with the universe. And other times we're not. We are selfish, we get angry, we get stroppy, and so on and so forth. So that has to be said. Although, if we know and if we have experienced, even just at times, who we truly are, meaning we are one with others. Life is not a competition, and your success is really my success, and vice versa. Everything it's of a different flavor, isn't it? It's you then realize that the biggest the best teacher is not the one with the most students, is the one that creates more teachers. Like the master is not the one with the most follower, but the one who creates the most masters.
And I think you have to experience one to experience two.
Yes,
because I've certainly been at one. I knew sales was never my calling. It was always seems to be competing with everybody. I knew it was never, because in my heart, I was never a really good salesperson.
yes. Mariella is writing, everybody hardly works to overcome the other. Mariella, do you mean that everybody works overtime to overcome the others? Or hardly works to overcome the other, meaning they don't do anything to overcome the other? Clarify that. And Marie asks, actually, why do some have to work harder than others and still not be as successful as their peers? Wonderful, wonderful question. I'll give you my take, or Evelyn, if you want to say yours first, but I feel that, and I think that attitude, it's so important in life. Attitude, at times, it's even more important than skills, that knowledge, than whatever else. And by attitude, I mean our emotional, psychological predisposition about life. Meaning, are we at peace? Are we living from a flawless state, or are we resisting, pushing, pulling? But Evelyn, here we got an expert after, actually.
No, I love that. I love that that was asked, because that's something that really people would ask.
It is a great question. Why do some have to work harder than others and still not be as successful as their peers?
And there's a whole lot of stuff in there. Number one, what is success? So a success that I'm high up the ladder, that I have a car, a company car, that I have a phone. Is that success? And even if they do achieve that, in their eyes, they'll still not be successful. They'll still want more success. But when we do have a mindset, depending on where we are brought up with our thought of that you have to work hard to get places, then that's what life is constantly going to be. Hard work, hard work, hard work. And sometimes, you know what, people are not on their purpose, what their calling is. Perhaps it's not the place, because when you do find your true path, where your heart is, it's not hard work.
No.
There's change required, certainly. There's stepping into fear required in order to do that. And actually, you'll see success then very differently.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I think that the shortcut, so to speak, is to choose to believe, if you think it's bananas, what I'm saying, but if you choose to believe that you have everything, which you do actually, everything you need to consider yourself to be successful, just the very fact that you are here, that you exist, that you breathe, and definitely if you're not physically impaired, I mean, if you're not in pain, otherwise you might be thinking, okay, well, but if you are healthy now and can see this, you are successful. And if you are successful, and if you can generate the feeling of being successful and needing nothing, you know what? The very experience of needing nothing and wanting nothing brings everything to you on a plate. That's the magic of life. Because when you want something, the universe is so literal that says yes. It's like a photocopy machine. You want something, you crave for something, the universe says, yes, I will give you the experience of wanting it. Watch this space. Doesn't mean that I give it to you unless you say, I guess you generate the feeling, I have it already. But if you have it already, that's success. You have everything. So if you can be grateful and appreciate anything you have right here, right now, more likely is that other things will come. But like Evelyn says, if you know what your passion is, if you know what you have to do, get off your ass and make it happen as well. I mean, that's the thing. Creation is not just esoteric. It's not just mental. It requires action. You will have the opportunity, then take them, make the phone call, say yes to somebody's opportunity, and make it happen. Yeah, thank you.
Isn't waking up every morning and loving what you do a huge
Yes,
success to begin your day to start off with?
yes, yes. Hello, Juliana. Sylvia is saying, it might be my personal problem, but I hardly see any good in competition unless it is applied to ourselves. Our cells in our body cooperate constantly at a tremendous complexity and speed. So why should we not adhere to this? Yes, Sylvia, you're absolutely spot on. Life is about collaborating and not about competing. The reason why I say that to embrace and not to oppose and resist competition is because at this very moment in time, human consciousness is so much still based on competition that it would be utopia and impossible, I guess, but you guys think with your head and tell me to what you think. It would be impossible to eliminate competition from tomorrow. So if we start, it's almost like saying my life is shit, excuse my French, but I want it to be wonderful. I can't tell you, and you wouldn't be in a state of being to say, oh, my life is wonderful when it's not. So we can't go from a competition based system to a completely collaborative system. So I think let's look at the healthy side of competition. Let's make it, let's see what can bring to us. And then we can slowly transition. Do I make any sense? Because if I tell somebody, you change your mindset right here, right now, and I've done this, and it's a mistake if you work with people, that person, it's not, well, I'm not going to see that person ever again. I'll tell you a story about this, if I may, everybody, because I think it's quite pertinent. And it tells you a lot about where I come from in relating to all this. And it may give you tips on how to relate with people, especially if any of you are going to be dealing with people work-wise. This is the story. There is this man, he's on a horse, right? He's been traveling all day in this countryside. It's getting dark, let's say 6 o'clock. He's tired, he wants to sleep in a village. He sees a village farther on the horizon. So he goes there. He goes there and he sees nobody's in the village, but lots of people that they live in the village, they're in a field. They're all around a big field. So he gets near them and they're all calling him and say, come, 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 you'll be our savior, you'll be our savior. And he looks at them and he goes, what's going on? And he sees in the middle of this field, there is this huge watermelon. Okay, imagine this field with this huge watermelon, and these people are all shouting at him, Save us, do something, you have a sword, you can save us. And they go, but what's going on? And they say, yes, there's a monster. The green monster wants to attack us. And he looks at the watermelon, he looks at them, and he goes, hey guys, it's a giant watermelon. It's not a monster. But they don't believe it. They get angry, they get upset, they say, you are crazy or what? So they take it off the horse and they throw it in a little pond. And they're really upset with him. So he gets off, it gets back on his horse, and he leaves the village, okay? Now, half an hour later, another man approaches this group of people by the field. He's as well on his horse, and as well he wants to sleep somewhere the night. Same story, he gets near them and they go, come on, come here, save us, there's a monster. So he looks at the watermelon, he looks at them, and then he thinks for a moment, he goes, okay guys, yes, I'll help you out. He takes out his sword, he goes in the field and he starts cutting the watermelon, okay? Can you imagine this big, huge watermelon is gonna be cut, and pieces of watermelon flies here and there and everywhere on the faces of these people looking. And at the end, he goes, there you have it, guys. You are free of the monster. And everybody's cheering him up and says, wow, wow, wonderful, wonderful. They hug him, they kiss him, they invite him to stay with them, they pay for his hotel, they feed him. And then, day after day, because he was the guest of the village, he told them little by little about the watermelons. Some watermelons are bigger, okay? Then 2 weeks later, when he told them everything they had to know about watermelons, so they weren't scared about watermelons anymore, he decides to leave a village. So when he's going to leave a village, everybody say, thank you, and thank you for telling us everything we had to know about watermelons that we didn't know. We're so grateful. And before he goes, it turns back to them and he say, yes, but be careful, because watermelons could always turn into monster. And he leaves. Did you get the story? So, in other words, be careful when people are really believing into something. Their mindset is revolving around something and they believe something, let's say competition or whatever. If you come on, if you tell them that's all bananas, you don't need this, they may just crucify you. To Jesus, that's what they did to the man with the watermelon, basically. Does it make sense? But this is to say that if you want to work with somebody and help them out professionally, be careful. Go with them, with their mindset for a while, and then teach them. Or do like my style when you throw them the truth on their face, but be careful because some people take it and some people don't.
Very good, okay.
So, let me just write. Mariella says, you two are an orange dessert. I know, are orange dressed.
I know.
Is it a case of coincidence?
We had a date code tonight.
Yeah, we didn't.
I washed my hair and put on my top.
We didn't speak before, did we?
No.
No, I swear, everybody. No, we didn't speak before. Mel says, surely it would be the individual judgment of success. Yes. So yes, we decide everything. And I do agree with Sylvia, competitiveness within us, it's really what drives our game in a healthy way.
It's like because sometimes it boils back down when you take it down to the core that I'm not good enough. I think when the belief comes back to self, God, I wish I was doing like that, or I wish I had that, or that's what it comes down, what you believe to be true, really about yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and I'm reading what Mel says, which is absolutely, the person we are judging may not feel successful. How would we know? Wonderful, wonderful consideration, reflection. Yes, you're right. It's true. From the outside, we may be seeing somebody and we may even be jealous of him or her, thinking, oh, I would love his or her life. And then, they're not happy. I mean, let's think, there's quite a few celebrities actually. Like one that springs to mind, she hasn't transitioned that long ago either. It's Amy Winehouse. For example, I didn't really know her. I knew she had a fantastic voice. She was young. She was beautiful.
and she decided to transition. I mean, and from the outside, you would think, wow, she could have had everything to be envy of. Absolutely. So yes, absolutely, we are the only one that can judge. Yes, yes.
And it's really down. What is that? What is success? You know,
yes.
Once you have peace, you know what? Once you have peace, you can have anything.
Yes.
You can have all the trappings you want in this world, and you can have no trappings, and you are successful because you have peace.
Absolutely. Yes. And I think the answer is here. I like to work and to do this live like everything really phenomenologically, meaning what appears is pertinent. And my eyes landed on Marie comment and says, thank you. Yes, to come from a place of gratitude. Yes. And that would be success. She didn't mean to what we are saying now, but it's very pertinent. I mean, if we could always be in a state of gratitude, oh my gosh, there's nothing else we will want, because we are already grateful for what we have, and because the universe responds. But even I say respond, it seems like the universe is a person. Everything is impersonal, by the way. But the dynamic is that we create with our emotion, with our vibrations. So if we are grateful, we will be given more to it. And if we want to personalize it, see us the big father life or mother life, is probably more willing to give us something if we appreciate it, don't we? Evelyn, would you prefer to give a gift to somebody if you know that he or she or them are going to be grateful, or to people that are not going to be grateful?
Yeah, that's it. Always gratitude, isn't it? It's once you get into that habit of gratitude, you're thankful for everything, even the things that people say, how would you see thanks in that? Yeah. How can you see the diesel lights after coming on in your car? I say, thank you for reminding me about that. Always blessings. Thank you for the money. That's when people we were talking this week about money, which seems to be something. And rather than the focus on the money end of it, if we can bring in a practice of gratitude that day, from you get up in the morning, thank you for my shoes, thank you for my electricity, because it took money really to get all of those things. So if the block is on the money, thank you for my wonderful car, thank you for, my bus pass, thank you for my lunch, thank you, because that's probably all it took, the energy of money to give that. So it's in the thanks that more will always come to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Mariella say, I refer to people who feel bad, insanity, competition. Oh yes, I ask who you refer to. I refer to people who feel bad, insanity, competition, and so they work hardly to arrive to the top, to be the number one. They don't know the meaning of hard working. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, it's like that. Some people, they don't know what it really means to help others. And I think because they never experienced that, maybe because they were never taught. I mean, that's how they were taught to live, and so that's how they keep on living. That's why I think we really have an amazing opportunity here to share all this and to inspire each other to be even grateful for these people, to say thanks, like Evelyn, you were saying, for even to everybody, even the person that tell us to FO in the morning, just say, okay, oh, well, thanks, actually, I didn't think that. You perceive me like that. And maybe there's a truth in that. It's like, why did you tell me to FO so for? Or maybe I can say, oh, okay, yeah.
But teenage boys, sometimes it does be a regular occurrence, but it calms down.
Sylvia says, oh, very interesting story. I get your point, but I start from myself by deciding how I want to live. Oh, of course, absolutely, Sylvia. We have to decide how we want to live. Yes. But the story was about, because people might ask you for their opinion. And yes, and if your opinion is gonna shake their model of the world so much, my only advice is be careful how you deliver it, because they might not like what you say. Or you may just not care, like Jesus Christ, and say, you know what? You're going to crucify me. You're going to take this little body of flesh. You can keep it, and I'm going to go and play somewhere else. So yes, why not? This is
Yeah.
how I feel many times. Really. To me, you know what? The truth, only the truth, and nothing but the truth. Tell it gently, tell it calmly, but tell it firmly and completely. And who is not willing and ready to deal with the truth, it is not our problem. I'm serious. And I say this, and especially in the therapeutic world, when there's still many people that they give the truth to the people they work with little by little by little by little by little. And I see and I respect that. But this is also, it's a complex, I'm opening up too much of a big and Pandora box for this life. But anyway, just to let you know,
Go for
I
it.
gotta go for it. Okay, this is all I'm saying, because, okay, we are all one, and I'm not kidding. Okay, every time I deal with one person, 2 people, 10 people, this is how our consciousness is so powerful. If I think that you personally or you collectively are not really able to get what I mean, I might give you a little bit that I think you could perceive. And because of the Rosenthal effect or the placebo effect, call it how you want, or the way we condition each other, I don't know how powerful you truly are. And you won't know either. In other words, when we are talking about this stuff, we're not talking about throwing somebody in the swimming pool and they can't swim, for God's sake. But people don't understand that. We are talking about psychic worlds. We are talking about emotional stuff. And unless somebody is really, really in a critical state, and then I'm all for one to be really careful. If somebody is okay, there's no reason why they couldn't handle the truth. Does it make sense? So this is to say, if I think you're stupid, and I do it on purpose to say, if I think you're stupid, I treat you like a stupid person, or like a person which is mentally ill. I don't believe in psychological impairment until there's a biological reason for it. But I'll tell you, there's so many people out there that they really believe that everybody is depressed, everybody is with this and that, and they treat the depression and they treat the anxiety. They don't even care what's behind. And they don't think that people can actually live joyfully in a short space of time. And so they treat them like healed people, like people that they can't get over it. Do you see what I mean? It's just a different way of working. But why do you think Jesus Christ was the biggest healer? Because he went right through all these bananas, right through the illusion. He was saying to somebody that was not going to work, was not walking or not seeing, get over yourself. Get up and walk. And they were doing it. It wasn't healing everybody, because probably he was so sensitive he could not when to do it or not. But some people that they didn't believe him, they wasn't healing them. But they were listening, yeah. But if he had been like walking on eggs, he wouldn't have done what he did.
I think that's where your intuition. That's where your intuition really, doesn't it? Your connection. That's the connection to the individual. Yes. And sometimes what I feel or notice is that the delivery that you have for one person, another person may not get that, because one person actually does go by their heart, and because someone has been trained using this here, you have to use a different approach.
Yes.
They need evidence. This here needs evidence. This here knows.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. That's why it is really an art. And you're right. It's an art, a science, but also it's a lot of intuition. Yes. And instinct to know how to move with different people. Yes, definitely. I wanted to read it. Very, very interesting. So no, nothing is as it seems, Chiara says. No, you're right. Nothing is as it seems. It's all how we think it is. And then even that it's not, because then somebody else proves us that it's completely different from their perspective. Celia says, the universe responds to what we are and not what we want. Yes, that's it. It does. It responds to what we are and not to what we want. Exactly. Mariela says, these people, of course, are not happy finally. They lose the real meaning of success in life, which is not financial planning, but solidarity and love, having so many friends, happiness in good relationships. Yes. Yes, I always think, and what do you think, Evelyn? Sometimes, I imagine, why is it, but also I ask everybody, and Evelyn, um, I've never heard of anybody saying that they had a near-death experience, or anybody that transitioned on the other side and talks to us, saying that when they're dead, they care about their profession or their money. Do they? Nobody ever mentioned that. But I'm asking you guys, have you ever heard or any testimonial which is different? All you hear about is like Mariela says, the relationship they had, if they loved, if
That's
they
it.
were, yeah, if they were
Yeah,
joyful.
another thing. I heard a man say that his suit that he has for when he does pass over, he has a suit hanging up and he has two holes cut in the pocket. He says, just to remind me, he says, because I'm taking nothing with me.
Ah, beautiful! Instead of the pocket, is going. That's a great one. That's a great one. Thank you. Mariella agrees with, I says whatever you say. Celia says, I agree totally. Truth makes us free, and freedom is the gateway to happiness and self-satisfaction. I think so. Mel says, with regards to health, it is such a big culture there. No, sorry. With regard to health, it is such a big culture believe in popping pills and treating ill health. Yes, mental health in that rather than looking deeper. Yes, Mel, it is exactly like that. Yes, I remember I did a period of a training in a therapeutical community, and you know what? Oh my gosh, it was just unbelievable. But then again, it's the system in such a places like in psychiatric unit. It's almost as if, okay, that's the paradox. If people come in and if they get healed very quickly, they get out of this unit, okay? But this unit lives, is financed. It's like a hotel. People have to be in. Do you see what I mean? So there's a conflict of intention, so to speak. But by no means, I'm not saying that the psychiatrists and the psychologists and people that they work there, they don't want to help people. They do absolutely do. But you can see that if we believe, like Matt says, in pills, in pharmaceutical interventions, which is money, 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 nah? What do you say, Evelyn?
Well,
It's not
we
going to...
experienced that in my own family as well,
Yeah.
where my mother was in a particular place. And actually, you know, the sad thing was because the word depression was and suicide was in their family, then it passed on. So when she was showing symptoms, they put this down as depression. What the woman did have was a brain tumor. So, but in the institution that she went to, because she couldn't figure I used to come, I didn't know what depression was. I used to come out of it feeling depressed because of what it was, because of they were like handing the tablets out like they were sweets.
Yes.
And the diagnosis was never, ever made. So that is one of the main reasons is why I chose to draw the line in sand to say it stops here, that I changed our family line and change and have our thoughts a different way. It was a completely different diagnosis, but because it was in your family, you were treated like that. And that's what people believe too. It runs in our family. I must have it.
Yes. Yes. And I don't know if it was a live, maybe an Italian live, and maybe one of you were here actually. I don't know if Mariella or somebody says something that is really accurate. They say the DNA, we are like, epigenetics says that in family, yeah, there's some traits. The DNA is similar to the one of the parents and the family members. Although even the DNA, so even though our parents, they were prone to depression or whatever, impairment, if we decide bananas to that, I don't buy into that. And of course, we may have to work a little bit more. But I've been saying that the big master, the yogi, the guru who lives in cloud nine, they didn't get there because they were lucky. It's because they're very present. They meditate. They work on their past issues. isn't there? You know what I mean? The work, work, work. So they make up their life. They make themselves happy. They create our happiness. But yes, you don't have to buy into your family story. Yes, and one last thing that I want to say about depression, because otherwise we get depressed. I've been seeing few cases, and
I'm glad I brought my.
I've been dealing with people, and especially and when it's young people, I really think love people that they've been in therapy and depressed or anxious. But you know what? I don't think that their problem is the depression. The first thing that I ask myself is, their depression, their anxiety, their friends, they're telling us something. So what is the depression telling me and you? What is it telling us? It normally is telling you that you have to change something in your life. There is a situation that you don't like. Whatever reason you have, but look at them and change. And I've seen many. Depression is not the problem. Anxiety is not the problem. They are just our friends. They're telling us, hey, look at me. There's something that needs to be addressed. And if we get to what needs to be addressed, and that can be quick, gosh, everything goes. Mm-hmm. There you go. You are healed. Because you were never healed in the first place.
And that's the blessings that I always give thanks for in my life too. And this is where gratitude, rather than looking back on them things and seeing them as sad, that only that my aunts and my own mother came through all that they did, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today.
Yes.
I had, there's many tears, and many hard times that we all went through in life. But someone somewhere for the next generation to make a change. And that's what I say. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for the labeled with having depression or suicide. But I say thank you, because that was for things to start to change, because it wasn't the time then. The time has changed and now it's going on. So I say thank you to them, because they had a tougher journey than what I have.
Yes. Thank you. And you are who you are because of them as well. Absolutely. Yes, definitely. I've seen my mom. She was at the age of 47. She died. She didn't commit suicide, but ask it is given. It's real. I mean, she wanted to die because she was depressed, addicted to psycho drugs, but she didn't want to get out of the depression. But at a very early age, I realized that she was physiologically healthy, for God's sake. That's why I'm so... sometimes I really firm, and I even seem to be pushy with people when what it takes to live happily. We have to work on it, but we can really do it. Yes.
Isn't that amazing that my mum passed at 45 or 46 and you lost yours at 47? So that's the same age. What age are you now, Luca?
I'm 49. I'll be 50 in December. Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
So we're sort of going through that at the same time ourselves.
Yes. But I think it does stimulate you when you see something happening, when you were close to something in your life, and you can see what is the dynamic of it, and how it could be different. I think it's only natural and normal that we want to do something.
Yeah, and I even see the reason as to why my mother had the brain tumor, because of and all them things that were in her life, so the brain and even the cancerous, because of the anger, because of things that had happened in her past. So
yes,
it makes so much sense. And really, and at her passing too, it was the first time as well where everything made perfect sense. Everything made perfect sense to me. It's just like, I'm only over the road. I'll see you soon. And that's when things started to awaken.
Yes. Wow. That's beautiful. Yeah, Mariela says, you don't have to live with anxiety, making your brain work continuously. Yes, no, we don't have to. Yeah, we don't have to at all. No. And Marie says, I think it's in regard to the story you say about the friends cutting out the pockets in the jacket for when he dies. Marie
Oh,
says,
yeah.
as my husband used to say, there are no pockets in a shroud. Lol. Yes.
That's right.
It's very true. Very true. Kerry says, did you know you would be matching twinning?
No.
You'd be matching. No.
The two of us probably have no trousers on either. I'm not showing.
Yeah. But no, I've got a little pair of shorts actually. It's so funny. You know, like on how do you say it? On WhatsApp, you know, these funny videos and photos that go around. And there was one when you see these guys, which that are they look, they say this is how we get dressed to go to the office on Zoom, and everybody's from the waist up. They've got like shirt, ties, and then you see them all walking down the street with shorts. Well, do you want to see something? Of course, it's blooming 30 degrees here. So yes. See, we've got 3 minutes left. I like to read all the comments because I think it's all important that we share. Sylvia says, Brian Weiss book, do not tell anything about craving for earthly possessions once we are on the other side. Thank you, Sylvia, for sharing. Yes, Brian Weiss, you know, he regrets people. He does. He uses hypnosis, regression, past life, and all that. Right. Mel says, I have been reading and watching the Ho'oponopono Zero Limits today. It is possible for us all to heal. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yes, it is possible for us to heal. Do you guys know the story of Ho'oponopono? Liu Lan or something similar is the man that invented Ho'oponopono. But just really briefly, I think it was a psychiatrist, and he was assigned this work in this mental unit in this psychiatric hospital. And what he realized, he invented Ho'oponopono, which is there are these 4 sentences, but they're not just said just for the sake of it. You really have to feel it. And they go like, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And metaphysically would say, please forgive my mindset. Thank you, and I love you. But what he was doing it wasn't just about the wording. It was clearing his own consciousness, his own data, his own conditioning about the people in the hospital, meaning he could see that they were perfect, that they had no mental imbalance. So he would perceive them as being healthy. And you know what? Apparently, the hospital, the unit got cleared, and he didn't do anything. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
Something that I would use if I feel, if there's something that has happened with a person,
yes.
that I'll visualize their face and I'll do Ho'oponopono, really feel that. Yes. Because it's, and I see things, it's just like an aspect of myself, clear that out too. But it is very powerful, very powerful. It
is. And yes, our consciousness, like we were saying before, it's affect us as others. We are all one in the field, and it's we can't see it, but it's energy. It is very real. Nothing is empty space. So if I believe that somebody is whatever it is, he or she is already conditioned by my thinking. Mind-blowing, I'd say. Literally mind-blowing. Wonderful. Well, thank you, everybody. And as I promised, now I will put in the comment box the link of the YouTube video, which I found today, which is quite funny. You can see it. I recorded it a year ago, but it's actually called The Game of Life. And it talks about what we've been talking about. So I invite you all to watch it. Of course, to like and share and subscribe to the channel. Why not? And yes, thank you very much. Evelyn.
Thank you, Luca.
Thank you so much. It's always wonderful to have you on.
I'll see you in a few days.
Yes, I'll see you Monday.
I'll wear new pajama bottoms for our date on Monday. For our date on Monday night.
Yes.
I'll have to wash my hair again.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Mariella. All of you. I love you all. And thank you, and I love you that you're watching this later on. Ciao. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye bye.